A stranger walked into Myra's laundromat one night and asked 2 questions. What time do you lock up? And do you always work alone? She lied about both. Good thing she did. Hi, I'm Nicole, and this is Haunted Threads After Dark, where I read you scary, creepy, paranormal stories. If that's your thing, then go ahead and turn the volume up. Turn the lights down low. But whatever you do, don't look behind you. This story is pretty creepy and scary. It's called The Closing Shift. Myra worked the closing shift at a laundromat about 2 miles off the interstate. The place stayed open late, and most nights it was just her and the turn of the dryers. She was used to being alone. Then one Tuesday night, a little after 1 a.m., a beat-up white van pulled into the lot and just sat there. The engine stayed running, the headlights pointed straight through the front windows. At first, Myra tried not to make anything of it. People sometimes pull in, check their phones before getting back on the interstate. But 10 minutes passed, then 15 minutes, then almost 20. Nobody got out. Finally, the driver door opened. The man stepped out looking completely ordinary. Flannel jacket, work boots, maybe late 30s. He came inside and walked straight past the washers. No laundry, no basket, nothing. He stopped at the counter and stared at Myra until she finally said, "Hi, can I help you?" He asked, "What time do you lock up?" Myra immediately thought that was a weird question. She lied and told him they closed an hour earlier than they really did. Then he asked, "You always work alone?" Myra lied again. She told him her manager was in the back doing a supply count. The man looked toward the employee-only door behind her, then back at Myra. He nodded slowly and left. Myra watched him cross the lot, expecting him to get into the van and drive away. He didn't. He backed the van into a space directly across from the door, shut off the headlights, and sat there, watching. Myra locked the front door, even though they weren't closed yet. A few minutes later, the man got out. He walked up to the entrance and tried the handle. When he realized it was locked, he looked through the glass and smiled. Not friendly, not angry either. It was almost like he wasn't surprised she'd locked it. Then he leaned to one side, trying to see farther into the store. Myra backed away from the counter. The man turned toward the van. For about 2 seconds, she thought he was leaving. Then he walked right past it. He disappeared around the side of the building toward the employee entrance in the back alley. Myra rushed to the security monitor. The back camera showed him walking directly toward the employee door. He tried the handle, then he stepped back and looked around the door frame. He crouched slightly, checking underneath it. After that, he stood so close to the little wired glass window that his breath fogged it. He just stared inside. That was when Myra called 911. She told the dispatcher she was alone, and that a man who had already asked when she closed and whether she worked alone was checking the doors around the building. While she was on the phone, he moved away from the entrance. He checked the side window, then the utility door. Then he disappeared behind the dumpster enclosure where the cameras couldn't see him. For almost a full minute, Myra had no idea where he was. She kept looking between the cameras, the windows, and the employee door, waiting for one of the handles to move. Then he appeared again. He was standing in the middle of the back lot, looking up at the building. The dispatcher told her officers were on the way. A few minutes later, headlights swept across the front lot. As soon as the police cruiser came into view, the man calmly walked back to his van. He didn't run. By the time the officer parked, the van was pulling onto the road. Police checked around the building. Nothing had been forced or broken. Myra gave them a description of the man and the van. They told her to call immediately if he came back. After that night, Myra changed how she closed. She parked as close to the front door as possible. She kept her keys in her hand before turning off the lights. She checked the lot before stepping outside. For almost 3 weeks, nothing happened. No white van, no man, nothing. She started telling herself maybe he had just been some weird guy passing through. Then one Friday night, right around closing, Myra locked the front door and turned toward her car. That was when she saw it, the white van. It was parked at the far end of the lot with its lights off. The engine was running. She hadn't heard it pull in. She had no idea how long it had been sitting there. And she had just locked the door with her back to it. Myra didn't wait to see what he wanted. She ran. Behind her, she heard the van door open. Then footsteps, fast. She looked back once. It was him, and he was running straight at her. Myra reached her car and tried to get the key into the lock, but her hands were shaking so badly she dropped them. The footsteps were getting closer. She grabbed the keys off the pavement. When she looked back again, he was only a few yards away. His arm was already reaching toward her. Myra got the door open, threw herself inside, and slammed it shut. She hit the locks. A split second later, his hand grabbed the outside door handle. He pulled. The door didn't open. Then his palm hit the glass. Myra screamed, but he didn't pound on the window. He didn't yell. He just stood there with one hand on the handle and the other pressed flat against the glass, staring at her, smiling. That same strange smile he had given her the first night. Myra shoved the key into the ignition. The engine didn't start. Of course not. She tried again. This time it turned over. She threw the car into reverse and hit the gas. The man let go and stepped backward as she shot out of the parking space. In the rear view mirror, she saw him standing in the middle of the lot, watching her leave. She drove straight to a well-lit gas station and called 911 again. The next morning, she called her manager. She told him, "A man tried to grab me outside the store last night, and I'm not coming back." Her manager didn't argue. Myra quit that day. She never worked another closing shift. She never worked there again. What still bothers her is that she has no idea how long he had been sitting there out in the night. He knew when she closed, and somehow he knew she'd be walking out soon. So what did you guys think of that story? I hope you liked it. Let me know if you did. It's something that's very... it's something that women have to worry about. I know that men probably have to worry about it a little bit too, but mostly women. As a woman, I have had to leave work late and go through an alley to the back parking lot, and that's pretty scary. You don't know who or what you're going to run into, if anything. I even had a taser gun with me just in case I needed it, just because you just don't know. And I worked in a pretty safe area, but you just don't know. So anyway, let me know if you like this video. Go ahead and comment, give me a comment, give me a like, and bookmark this in case you want to watch it again. If you have any stories that you want me to read here, then go ahead and go to hauntedthreadsafterdark.com. The link is in my bio. It's really simple. You just press it and it takes you over there, and you can go ahead and submit your story. Or you can DM me, whichever you want to do, whatever's easiest for you. It's easiest for me if you email me, or if you go to my site and submit it there, because it's easier for me to format it and everything. But if you can go ahead and do that, that would be fabulous. And then until tomorrow, when I bring you more nightmares, try to sleep tight if you can. Bye.